All right. I came back because I thought of a couple of other things that I had forgotten about in terms of the hanky panky. So there was a time where we had gone to the movies, and I don't know what we went to see. I don't think it matters because I was fingering her in the theater. And I thought we were discreet, but at one point it seemed like one of the attendants was coming in and walking up to where we were. So I was like, "Oh shit, maybe they see us through the back window where the film is coming out of." I was like, "Oh no!" So I stopped. There was another time we were in her car. She used to have a Ford Explorer she called the Gray Ghost, and I don't know. We were just driving and like we were just sitting on the side of a road, and again, fingering. I was doing her. And then a car pulled up behind us, and it looked like a police car. And so I was kind of like, we should probably drive off. So we did. Oh man, I remember those two very, very clearly. And then there was something else that I wanted to share. Okay, so I talked about like how the relationship has slowly kind of faded, but there was so there I talked about the moment of absolute clarity, a moment of absolute certainty. The first time was when I had looked at her from across the churches when I was younger and looked at her and said, "She is unhappy and I want to be her friend." There were two other times, and I can't remember which came before the other. One moment was when we had pulled up to a hotel. She had gone in to get a room, and I was sitting in the car, radio was on, and Where is the Love by Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway came on. Roberta Flack is one of her favorite artists. The other one's Anita Baker. And Where is the Love came on. And I was listening to the lyrics, and in that moment, I heard with clarity, this is how your relationship is going to end. Like the lyrics of the song described the end of our relationship. And this was long before it actually started to fade out. But I remember that moment because I was sitting in the car and I just knew, I'm like, okay, this is this is going to end. But I hadn't had a lot of those moments, so I kind of like pushed it away. I ignored it. I'm like, no, 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 no. But it came true. This other moment, because I don't know which one was second and which one was third. The other moment was when the Harvest Church had its groundbreaking. And I think this might have been 2002, maybe '03. It's really hard to remember. But I remember being at the groundbreaking and just kind of watching the service happening. You know, the people did the ceremony, shoveling of the dirt and whatnot. And again, with absolute certainty and clarity, I knew, I heard, what have you, this church is going to fail. No clue how, no clue why. Just it was before they had even built it. I knew it was going to fail. And of course, I couldn't tell anybody that because who's going to believe me? With what I don't have any kind of spiritual status or backing. Ain't nobody gonna listen to me about nothing. But it was correct. It did indeed fail, and I kind of figured it'd probably be just due to some financial stuff, because that's usually how most churches fail. It wasn't. It had to do with some financial stuff. By then, I had already left. I had left. Sonya and I weren't together anymore. Didn't like. I just heard hearsay what happened after that, but the church is gone. Both versions, Holiness and Harvest. And then the other thing I wanted to share, and this one is far more recent. This was actually last week. So I went to Raleigh to visit my mom. She'd hurt herself recently, so I was going to check on her. And driving to Raleigh, getting into Raleigh, I started feeling anxiety. I started feeling trapped. because I hadn't been back home since I had told my mom about what happened. And that was back in October. I don't think I'd been back to Raleigh since then. So this was my first time going back, and it was extremely hard to handle. Being there and feeling like I was that much closer to her was excruciating. And I knew it was all in my mind because as far as I know, she might not even be in town. She might be traveling somewhere. I don't know where she at. I don't know that. And I've had an experience one time before where I was at somebody's house, and a person who has caused a lot of trauma for me, separate from this, I thought she was there and I was tripping like the whole time. And come to find out, the person I thought it wasn't even her. So I knew it was in my head. So I remembered that time, and I'm like, it's in my head. You're not going to run into her. You're not going to see her. It's in your head. But it doesn't matter that it's in your head because your body reacts to it as being real. And so I park, I go in the building, I go see my mom, spend time with her. As soon as I walk out of that room, it all comes flooding back. That feeling of anxiety and trappedness, and I had to admit to myself, I said, I'm afraid of her. And I'm not afraid of her as a person. I'm afraid of the power she still has over me, because I know at some point I'm going to see her again for whatever reason. Either I just run into her in the street, or heaven forbid there's another member funeral where like all of the old church people are together. For whatever reason, I know I'm going to see her again, and I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I don't know how I'm going to be able to process that. I don't know if I'm going to have the strength to completely ignore her. I don't know if I'm going to collapse under my own emotions and just turn into like a little child again. I have no idea. Although I do know if she come at me, then I ain't gonna, yeah, there's no, there's no issue if she come at me. But if she's just present, oh, I don't know. And I hope to God that I am emotionally prepared and strong enough to handle it. But yeah, I walked out of that room and I felt it, and I was like, I gotta get up out of here. Like I was walking so fast, I wanted to run to my car to get out of Raleigh. And then it got so bad in that moment, like when I am really consumed with the thought of her, like it's like she's here. Like when I was leaving and I was like in the elevator, it was like a shadow of, not even a shadow, because like I can imagine what she looks like, but like a version of her is like in my ear, like taunting me about feeling what I feel. And I'm like, I'm telling myself like literally like, shut up, this is not real. Like I feel like I'm going crazy. And so I'm walking out, and content warning, I'm about to be talking about poop. I'm walking out, and this woman is walking a dog, like a golden retriever, and the golden retriever is taking a dump. That's disgusting to see. Like nobody ever wants to see any creature relieving itself in such a way. But I see it because you just happen to look, and that's what's happening. And so I replaced feeling and seeing and hearing her with that vision of a dog pooping, because I don't want to see that. So for the rest of that afternoon, anytime like the thought of her would push its way into my consciousness, I replaced it with the image of that dog pooping. And it helped. It helped until I got home. So I get all the way back home, and I'm sitting in the car, and I'm just like laying on the steering wheel. I'm like, I'm okay. Telling myself I'm okay. I get to the bathroom to like freshen up, and I just collapse. I collapse and I cry. And then I walk into the bedroom, and my partner's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. And I collapse yet again, and I'm just crying. Like all of what I had been feeling that day came up and out of my heart. And I was just bawling. And my partner has seen me cry She has seen me cry. She has held me as I have cried over heartbreaks with other people. She has held me as I've cried over 4 women. This one with Sonya, that's just the newest. That's the latest one. That's the last one too. But my partner has been she's she's been very, very, very supportive, and just like, it's not even about being able to say anything, because sometimes it's just like there's nothing to say. It's just like knowing I can cry. And I cried on her, and I was like, I feel like I will always have her as a part of me, and I hate it. And so after I cried myself tired, I just got into bed. Just got into bed. That's all I could do. The day was over. And I'm like, why is this all happening? Why is this all so strong when it was so long ago? And it's like, because you haven't dealt with this stuff and you haven't released it. And it's weird to say I haven't released it, because I've tried so hard. I've tried so hard before now to release my feelings for her, but never in this realm of acknowledging it as abuse and looking at the entire picture and deciding to release it. So I don't know. So those were the things I wanted to add in there, because they're part of my memory and part of my experience. And again, I'm just talking about all of it. So at this point, there's very little order to these entries. That you just gonna get what you get, and I hope you just honor whatever it is that you get from me. And it's been, the heart space has still been an issue, because I can't tell when things are, whenever whatever the heart space blockage is. I don't know if it's because of her. I don't know if it's because of anxiety around work. And then my therapist is like, those two things are probably related. And I'm like, no, they're not. And yeah, they probably are, just because everything overlaps, everything intersects. Of course, dealing with this history of abuse would affect me being able to do some work. So, duh. So I think that is all of the, I think that's everything with what I can remember. Oh, there was this other time. This wasn't when we were together. This was when I was still at home, and so maybe 16, 17. I remember we were in Charlotte. The church was, for maybe some kind of conference, some convocation or something, and we had gone to, I think, Carowinds, and we had ridden this roller coaster. So it was, I think, my mom and my sister or my cousin in the front, and then me and Sonya in the back of the roller coaster. And Sonya is holding on to me and laughing, and we were laughing. And I think we had bought that picture at the end, and I got a keychain of it. And I don't know if I still have that. I'm gonna have to look. I have a bag of like my treasured cards and just stuff from the past. I have to see if I still have that picture. I might have sent that back to her too when I was like sending stuff to clear out the connection, which didn't work clearly. But I tried. I can say I've tried. But yeah, it was a cute moment. We had a lot of cute moments, but we also had a lot of not cute moments. I remember I think I was a senior I'm about to say senior in high school, a senior in college at this point. I remember we were on the phone, and I don't remember what I had been saying to her, but I remember she yelled at me that you don't know everything. She said, you think you know everything, but you don't. I don't remember the conversation, the context. I'm thinking I'll try to tell her about herself. Like, probably telling her what I think she needs to do. And she's not doing it. Because I can be pushy. And she's like, you think you know everything, but you don't. I was like, well, and I was taken aback because I was like, I know what you've told me. What is it that I don't know? So, despite everything that she did share with me, there is layers upon layers of what she didn't. So, I guess in the end, I really don't know who that person was. Yeah, I didn't know who that person was. And that's that.